All right. We just slid right into this one, didn't we? Okay. It's 4:02. I just got home 15 minutes ago because guess what? I was in a bookstore and time flies. So washed my hands twice, put away the groceries that I also did, and I'm here for our February Friday Night Lives, which is exciting. But I also just want to take a breath because I just did a bunch of things and I'm not used to, my pandemic brain is not used to whirling around and rushing and ranting. Rushing and ranting, that reminds me. That's right. The thing that I had to do when I put the groceries away was look up the sea shanties because I forgot my list. It's lost in whatever slips of paper that I threw away yesterday. And so I had to look up the sea shanties that I had prepared before. I mean, not really prepared, just like, these are the ones I know, so these are the ones I can sample for you. But otherwise, I was just going to be doing a mid-month check-in. And here's a weird thing. I don't like the way mid-month check-in looks when I put it on my list because it looks like it's done when I abbreviate check-in with a check, which is stupid. But status report, status update, I don't know. Mid-month something. That's what's happening this Friday night. So welcome. How are you guys doing with your Februaries? Feel free to weigh in. I'm doing okay. Nowhere near as gangbusters as my January. So January, I just sort of leapt in and started cleaning up all the stuff that was left over from last year. So I had like 20 books that I read. Lots of rereads too. And February, which I went into with all this intention. Sorry, someone's giving me the eye here, like they're going to interrupt and knock something over. Just say hello. Say hello, Bee. Say hello. Hello. Okay. Are you satisfied? I know I was gone for hours and hours. What did you do? He's not used to being without me these days. So he's like, yeah, so February, I started out with all the intentions and all the read-a-thons and all these like serious heavy reads. And of course, they did not flow like all the random junk in January. So it's been slower going. I think I've read 5. Let's see. Status report. So Shakespeare in a Divided America. I started in January, finished in February. So I'm going to discuss that at the end. Souls of Black Folk. I've already discussed that on 2 videos. It's really good. I wish I hadn't waited so long to read it. It's not what I thought it was going to be at all. It's W.E. Du Bois going back, looking over his education and taking a sociological look at his times in 1903 and evaluating why people were they were and different stories and stuff. Katya's here. At midnight. Oh my gosh, the dedication. Hello. Chill with Kat. Well, he's not very chill at the moment, so yeah, he's on his tree, so now he's above me because I'm sitting on the floor. I'll give you a quick peek. I mean. So I'm just hoping he doesn't like jump and land on something and just upset the whole setup. That would be worrisome. So yeah, Souls of Black Folk for Black History Month. What else did I have? I had for the first Emma, which is a historical fiction, which I'm reading in preparation for March. It is a book that is told in 2 timelines, one in the 1910s and one in the 1940s. And I'm going to be talking with the author, Camille DeMaio, on March 7th, so in just a couple weeks. And we're going to, talk the modern period of 1901 to 1945. We're going to be sticklers. So that was really fun. Another historical fiction author will be on the channel. She also has a channel on YouTube and she's some pretty great videos up. So I will put those in the description afterwards since I just got on 15 minutes ago. Let's see. The first Emma, I had 2 rereads. So I started reading Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison, and it was super heavy duty. And especially the first 2 chapters were just like horror. And I was just like, I was not prepared for this. So I had one of those like read it, digest it, and then like hop into a comfort read for a day and be like, okay. So let's see. I had The Ghosts of Netley, which is one of those Jane Austen mysteries by Stephanie Barrett that I love. And it's like the 4th or 5th in the series. And it's like the most heartbreaking one in the series. I mean, I haven't read the whole series, but it's one of my favorites. And I'd forgotten how the heartbreak happened. And so it surprised me all over again. And then Dreaming Spies is one of the books I have from Lori R. King. She's a mystery writer based in San Francisco and writes Sherlock/detective fiction. And her Beekeeper's Apprentice book is fabulous. So Dreaming Spies is one that takes place mainly in Japan. And I really liked it. Second time. Again, it's been years since I read it, so I had no idea what happened. It's good. I mean, I would never really have to buy another book because I forget what happens in them, but I'm going to buy more books, right? So those are my 2 rereads so far. And then I had Clockwork Angel, which was a buddy read. And I still have yet to discuss this because, like I said, my day was busy, but I need to write back to Will. Ilum Reads, also a cool channel. He calls himself the Messy Channel, which I guess I'm channeling today because I just slid right into this in time. Yes. So that was a really good book too. It's the first ever Cassandra Clare that I've read. She does the Mortal Instruments, the Infernal Devices. Katya's asking about Invisible Man. I haven't finished it yet. I've read 2 more chapters, so it's going to be slow going. But here's the thing. I switched over to this one, which is also like a little bit of trepidation for my reading because he's writing it like he's in a gangster movie and he's using all these language conventions that are unfamiliar. So I feel like I'm trying to drive a stick shift car when I don't know how when I try to read through this book. But I'm 60 pages away from the end, so I'm close to finishing this and I'm getting it more, but it still feels very clunky for me. And I needed to finish that because it's for the book club that we're discussing on Sunday. So I put that first and then I'll go back to Invisible Man and like try to hurry it up more than 2 chapters a sitting. But yeah. And I saw, let's see, Sean the Book Maniac just put up a review of Invisible Man on his Friday Reads today, I guess. So I put it for watch later, but I have not watched it yet in case it's spoilery because having jumped into Invisible Man with no background and being like, what did I get into on a roller coaster? Now I'm like kind of wary of anything that might be spoilers because I'm like, okay, I'm just going to like head down, finish the book and sort of try to, run through it as best I can. Dedication to these out there reads. I drive stick. Well, of course you do. Everyone in the UK is like, what are you American lazy butts doing? Like, why can't you figure this out? Yes, that's a whole tangent. But yes, Invisible Man, just still at the beginning. Survival Math, I'm almost finished with, and that's for the Patreon book club on Sunday. And Clockwork Angel, as I was saying, my first Cassandra Clare, so it's young adult, it's fantasy, it's kind of steampunky. Well, I guess it is steampunk with magic. It's set in London, and it's interesting. The plot was really fast. The pacing was really fast. The love stuff is like thrown up there to juggle with, and I'm kind of like, oh gosh. So it's been a while since I've read YA that was new, and so I'm going, oh, right, this is the franticness that is necessary for this. So I don't know if her whole series is like that or, just the first prequel trilogy, but yeah, so that was good. And I'm looking forward to talking to Will about that. And then the last one I read a couple days ago was called Someone to Love. My friend Tanya in DC has been reading up a storm in the past year or so, and she recommended Mary Balogh, Balogh, as a romance writer to try because she's got a whole catalog and has been writing for a while. and it was very sweet. And let's see, I got it from the library. It's Regency romance. It's highly unrealistic, but that didn't stop me from enjoying it. And they got a lot of the detail right. I mean, there were some things that I was like, but it was fine. I was just enjoying it for the romance. Then, like I said, I'm gonna jump back into Gangsterland and Invisible Man, so I needed some bit of fantasy in between there. So that's my mid-month status report. I was gonna try to break that up with sea shanties, but I just ran right through it. So I think I'll take a break to ask about sea shanties. Katya saying, Cassandra Clare is an easier read, definitely. Infernal Devices series was fun. All the series is action-packed. Okay, I figured. So what I did, since I knew I was kind of like about the style, was I went to the Wikipedia page after I read Clockwork Angel to see what the rest of the series did, because I had a hunch about like the love series / triangle, and I was right on one. And I was like, okay, so do I really want to read another 250 pages about something that I could see coming? If I had lots of time and I wasn't supposed to be writing my own novel and all that stuff, then sure, but not right now. Not during Black History Month. We got things to do. So, yeah. Who has observed, Katya or others, who has observed the sea shanty trend overtake us on social media? I've seen a few on Twitter. I've definitely seen them on TikTok, and I usually just scroll past because I'm like, no. But I do, there's a little bit of crossover between my like folklore / British sailor culture, don't ask, that I know about from research, and this whole like sea shanty thing. I don't know how it came about or how it got popular, but an article that I read was talking about the fact that you can record singing with someone, so it feels like you're part of a group. So it's one of these things that we're doing to try to not feel so alone, and that makes sense. I mean, there's plenty of other songs to do that with, so I don't know why you would pick sailing songs from the 19th century, but why not? And so I looked up a few. I tried to find ones by the Coreys, because they're like one of my favorite folk rock bands. And I came up with the Bonnie Ship the Diamond, which I think I've heard Gaelic story, and so that version is in my mind. But I also used to have a CD by Stan Rogers, or I used to look up his music for some reason. Maybe it was when I was trying to do like sing-alongs here in Portland. Interesting. I have a Wi-Fi signal on my screen. I'm not sure what that means. I hope it doesn't mean I'm going to collapse and end the broadcast. Oh, there. Now it's gone. I don't know what that means. Okay, I'll have to ask the StreamYard folks afterwards. So Rogers, I think he's a Canadian musician and poet, and then it's back. Okay, if anyone knows what a little Wi-Fi symbol up where the live notification means, please tell me, because I'm a little worried about that, but I'll just keep going. His most famous song was, he's passed away since, but his most famous song was called Northwest Passage, because it was like a myth of early sailors that they would discover a Northwest Passage, meaning a way to go from the Atlantic to the Pacific that was sailing rather than like going all the way down around South America, kind of like going around the Horn of Africa to get to the Indies. Like this rich, unimaginable wealth would be theirs if they could find the way, right? But there's no waterway that does that. So the Northwest Passage, let's just start with that one. Who knows it? Raise your hand. I've frozen a couple milliseconds each time I talked about the Wi-Fi. Okay, it must mean that my phone is not up to snuff, which fair. I need to call T-Mobile and threaten them. Because they're not giving me enough bandwidth. or download. But I haven't done that yet, so this is a good kick in the pants to do it. Hopefully I don't freeze while I'm singing, because singing face is often a terrible face. All right, let's do a verse of Northwest Passage. Stan Rogers. Ah, for just one time I would take the Northwest Passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wild and savage, and make a Northwest Passage to the sea. And as I'm just starting out, I'm getting red. So if JD gets on and watches this, he'll be like, she's drinking port. She's getting flushed, because that's what happened last Friday. But no, this time it's just not being warmed up and singing and hoping I don't hit the wrong note and being live. Hey! What I have this week is just a cup of tea. So if it's midnight for you, you probably don't have a cup of tea. But, oh, that's good. I just had a cookie and a tea, and that's perfect because it's afternoon for me. All right, so that was Northwest Passage. I really like how he sings it. There's a version where someone's doing not a harmony, but like a, well, I don't know what it's called. If I was more technical on the singing, I would know what it's called. But the endings of the lines, they scrape past each other like boats or cars. And those words like savage, they just come out like really, really resonant and like scrapey. I don't know. That's not very good technical term. Yes. So Northwest Passage is a good one. And Doug's here. Yay! Thanks for stopping by. The other Stan Rogers I popped up was Barrett's Privateers. I know other people have done this one. I know the Coreys have done this one. And it's got a little different rhythm to it, which is pretty fun. So let's try the first two verses and see if I can keep them straight. Oh, the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. A letter of marque came from the king to the scummiest vessel I've ever seen. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. So, yeah, that messed up a little in the middle, but fine. Who knows? No one knows the exact rhythm that's watching this, right? So, probably y'all do, but that's fine. This is one reminds me of McPherson's rant. Basically, it's a guy shaking his fist at someone who's done him wrong. And Barrett's Privateers, I don't know, maybe it's about the press gang. It's another like Canadian, I think the eastern seaboard of Canada is high in these types of songs because it's full of people who make their living off the ocean, fishing, whaling back in the day, that sort of thing. So yes, Atlantic seaboard, high in the sea shanty world. So there's my other Stan Rogers, and there's our little break. To go back to the books, the other ones that I have in mind, as I said, I'm going to be finishing Survival Math by Mitchell Jackson. He's grew up in Portland, has since moved to New York, and it's interesting. One of the friends who's in the book club on Sunday said that she read The Residue Years, which is his fiction book, and this is his like more memoirish book. And she said a lot of the stuff in this book is fictionalized in Residue Years. And I was like, what? So we got two books out of the same experiences. That's crafty. I mean, I can't fault an author for recycling material if it works the first time, right? Which I just thought was funny though. Yeah, so that's gonna happen Sunday with Patreon book club. I think I have a Bitly, so I'll put that up for a second in case you want to check it out. I have a Patreon with information about the different things I offer. So I do postcards for people and I do the book club. And then in April, I'm going to start a new benefit, which will be across the board, which is going to be fun. So there's that. What else do I have? Invisible Man to finish. I'm not that far into it. Before the Coffee Gets Cold to finish, and I'm not that far into it. I can't remember off the top of my head who is telling me it gets better after the first one. But I've only listened to the first one. It took an hour and 40 minutes to get through one short story of the collection. I'm listening to it, and it was super slow. Like an hour and 20 of that was build up, and I was just like, oh my goodness. So I haven't been able to get to it. And it snowed here, and I was trapped at the top of the hill because it gets icy here in Portland, and none of the side roads are plowed except the main artery roads. So we were trapped. I don't have a 4x4 anything. So yeah, so I haven't been out walking much or driving much anywhere. Today was the first time I drove in a week, which is not that unusual, but first time I've been out walking too. So haven't been listening to bro audiobooks before the coffee gets cold, but hopefully I'll get that done and move on to the next one. What are you guys reading? Oh, I'm getting the Wi-Fi signal again. Tell me what y'all are reading, and I'll move on to the next thing here. Just put that up. Friday Night Lives. I can go to my next song, and then I'll have to find another one. I wonder if people know who the Coreys are. I think no one in America knows who they are. And when I find someone who does, I'm like, oh, we should sing together, which is kind of silly because not everyone likes to sing. They just like to listen. But they just had so many moods. I really wish like they had lasted longer, that Ronnie hadn't died so early on so that they could no longer do their duo thing. But yeah. So I have like 4 albums of the Coreys, and this song, The Bonnie Ship the Diamond, definitely a sailing song. But I heard it originally from Gaelic Storm. Has anyone heard of Gaelic Storm? They're a little bit more modern. And I'll tell you how I know who they are. It's embarrassing, but they were on the Titanic soundtrack. They were the Irish third class steerage band, if that rings a bell with anyone who's my age. And so I remember getting their CD and thinking it was so great. So yeah, it was cool. Oh, yay. Sorry, I was on the wrong menu here. Duncan knows the Coreys. Yes. People in the UK, if people in Canada with them as well. And just finished The Long Earth, Pratchett and Baxter, and finished Minimum Wage Magic. Oh! Maybe it was you, maybe it was someone else, but I remember seeing Minimum Wage Magic and thinking that was a powerful title. And The Long Earth, Terry Pratchett and Baxter. So I guess that was like near the end of his life when he was co-writing stuff. Very cool. Is it a clever, satirical kind of sci-fi fantasy, or is it more of like a epic high fantasy, like good? Sounds good. Very, very different from Cassandra Clare, I would wager. Yes, so Coreys or Gaelic Storm, whichever flavor. Let's see. I maybe messed up on the rhythm on this one too, so if you be kind and bear with me here. Let's see the lyrics. The Diamond is a ship, my lads, for the Davis Strait we're bound. The quay it is all garnished with bonny lasses round. Captain Thompson gives the order to sail the ocean wide. With the sun it never sets, my lads, nor darkness dims the sky. For it's cheer up, my lads, let your hearts never fail. The bonny ship, the Diamond, goes a-hunting for the whale. That's a fun one. And you could see, like, I was even like leaning in and doing a little metronome action here. It's that's like part of the fun of a sea shanty. So I don't know if this is part of the fun for the people on TikTok, but if you imagine a crew trying to row a boat or trying to pull a rope to get sails down or up, it's the kind of like timing, like lets everyone be on the same foot on the right timing, whatever. So yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, I don't know why they just didn't take all the women's walking songs and go, hey, we'll borrow these. Thank you for giving us all these great. Oh, yeah, they probably wouldn't like the themes and such. So the I guess part of the reason I've looked into sea shanties and sailing songs is because I was looking into the women's side of this, and walking is the women's equivalent of staying at home and walking cloth, which means like felting. So when you make wool from wool, you have to treat it to make sure that it's most weatherproof. And the way you do that is like a mixture of liquids, let's say, and sort of manually beating it. And so you'd have a group of people, kind of like a quilting bee, and you'd have a big bunch of fabric that had been like put through the wringer, and then you would beat it to sort of like irritate the fibers, because then they cling closer together. So anyway, so it would be a better garment for being out in the rain. And that's called walking or felting wool. And so everyone would be doing this, kind of like you're doing the laundry, and you would want to do that on the beat. So the women made up songs that were to do that activity with. And there's a lot of fun ones. The ones I have are mostly in Gaelic, so I don't have them on the tip of my tongue. But they're like call and response, and there are a lot of the same line that's the response. So it's really easy to learn, which means I have no excuse for not knowing them right now. But yeah. And there are also a lot of nonsense. So like I was saying last time, the follow you what's, well, I'm not going to get up and get the CD because I can't play it. But yeah, they're fun songs. If you look up Waulking and listen to walking songs, you'll see what it sounds like. It sounds very weird. I played this for my mom in the car when she was visiting, and she was like, huh, it's really repetitive. It's like, yeah, that was the point. Yeah, so who knows why this 19th century trend caught on for Gen Z, but I'm here for it. I'm in. Let me catch up here. So Katya is saying she started on No Fixed Abode, a book of homelessness in the UK. Yeah, he was listening Rainier book. So Rainer was really, really affected by this book, and I tweeted it out. It looked really good. It looked like one of those books you're like, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to change a little bit of my life in response to it kind of book. So yeah, it looked really good. Maeve McClanahan, I think, is the author. So awesome. She says tricky. That's about the Pratchett. Makes sense. Makes sense. And then Duncan said the Corey's Flower of Scotland's a favorite. Yay. For the longest time, I had, before I was a YouTuber, I had a YouTube video of the reopening of Scottish Parliament in 99, 97. Anyway, late 90s. They reopened the Parliament because of the decentralization and or devolvement, or how I'm probably not going to use the right term because it's been a couple years now. But they opened it with Flower of Scotland, which was the Corey song, and it was just like really perfect. I can't remember the lady who sang it. But she had a really great voice, so it was really neat. It's one of those moments where you're like, your heart swells a little bit because you're like, yes, come home and power to the people, and please let this work. Yeah. Katya's saying, yes, the Turby comment is for Long Earth by Pratchett, not Fixed Abode. Totally. Yeah. Well, I'm going to look it up because I have that capability here. Because I don't know if I'd know the lyrics off the top of my head. Oh. Random website. Let's see if they have the right lyrics. Oh, flower of Scotland, when will we see your like again? That fought and died for your wee bit hill and glen, and stood against him, proud Edward's army, and sent him homeward to think again. That's a good one. See, people need to sing more in like pandemic times. It makes me feel better, right? I don't know why. Ben's between the lines. Yay! Hello. She's got a lot of books on her plate. Very excited. Feel free to comment which books you're reading for February, whether it's for a read-a-thon or whatsy-doozy. The other thing I wanted to make sure to remind people about was the March read-a-thon. I know Katya signed up. She's going to be reading High Wages with me, which I'm very excited about. My first Dorothy Whipple, and who just, I think it was Sarah at Hardcover Hearts, said that she just read it last month and really enjoyed it and hoped she hadn't oversold it. So I'll try to go in with low expectations, but I mean, Persephone says it's really good. So the read-a-thon for March is called March of the Moderns. It's books written from 1901 to 1945. And basically I had so much fun with Victober that I thought, let's keep it going. So Queen Victoria died in 1901, and this is going to be like the next era that I could sort of cobble together, which was modern. It's sort of a grab bag. And it's not limited to the places where Victoria reigned. It's worldwide, and we're encouraging books from all over, and marginalized populations, women's voices, LGBTQ, marginalized populations. And yeah, so bring it all in, and tag me. And I'm most on Twitter, so I know a lot of the booktubers are on Bookstagram, and I'm just slower over there. But I need to write a list of the people who are on Twitter so that I can like have a gang on Twitter instead of like every time I go to tag someone and I'm like, oh, they're not on Twitter, so never mind. It's a little sad, but it's okay. Katya's there and Rainer's there, so like they're a good gang to have. But yeah, so that link takes you to my blog, which just has information at the moment on the read-a-thon. It's got the Buddy Read Google Docs if you want to check what people are reading and want to read together. That's another great pandemic activity. And it's got the bingo boards. So it's just like a board I put together of like trying to expand your reading and read diversely for this time period. And I think I just explained that there's going to be a Persephone book giveaway at the end for someone who does a bingo. We'll see. I don't know how hard it is. There's 10 ways that you can get 4 squares. So it doesn't seem like it should be too hard, but I don't know. It's a busy month. There's March Mysteries. There's March of the Mammoths. There's Middle Grade March. There's a lot of stuff going on in March. So maybe it'll be difficult, but yeah. Yay. Sweet. I just got another comment from someone saying that they would jump on who I hadn't heard of yet. So that's always fun. I don't know if you know as readers, but one of the milestones or thresholds as an author is like getting a review from someone you don't know. So like the first time that happens, it's always like, hey, a stranger liked my book. That's so cool. Because, you know, your friends always want to say, hey, great job. It was so good. And then you're like, thanks. Are you lying? I don't know. But when you get strangers leaving reviews, you're like, ooh, that means they actually did like it. Maybe other authors can chime in and tell me if that was a threshold for them too. Or is it just me? It's just me. So, yeah. So that is March of the Moderns. It is February 19th today. So we've got, what is it? One more week? 9 more days? 9 more days. I can count. February. Yeah, I'm excited. I got a lot of reading to do in February still. So a good thing I'm just going to be sitting here. So that's my February mid-month update. Those are my sea shanty credentials. Feel free to find me on TikTok. Maybe I'll put one on there and see if it takes off. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Unless anyone has questions about the Patreon book club this Sunday or the March of the Moderns. Yeah, and maybe it's really late where you are. Vens, I'm not sure where you are, or even if that is your name, because I think I have a spreadsheet where I keep channel names and people's names because sometimes they're not obvious that it's different. Like Sadie Reads Again is actually named Sarah, and I mean, it's just the case of the assumptions that you would make if you didn't already like subscribe to them for a long time and hear them talk about themselves. So I don't think I've seen you say your name. So if you want to pop that in there, please do, and then I won't have to be unsure and feel like I'm misrepresenting you. But anyway, I don't know where the cat got to, but he behaved himself this so far. And for that, I am thankful. What else? I've been meaning to do dramatic readings, and I haven't had space because I've been trying to do all these tags, and I'm behind. So, got you still on. Do you see shanties feature in your books? No. The last book I wrote came out in 2019, and the TikTok trend is like 3 months old. So, no. That would be a good reason for like a sale or something, but no. Yeah, it's just one of those like research rabbit holes, really, because I was looking into folklore and songs and poetry at a certain period of time, and that's like what is extant. That is what is still visible to researchers, and so that's what I ended up finding when I was looking for source material of the time. Get on the trend, meaning like write a book with sea shanties in it. That would be hard because the book I'm writing and editing now is set in Chicago and New York City in 1893, and I guess there were still whaling vessels, but this was the start of like steamships, I think. So it would be a big departure from it. But yeah, I'll find some other music to put in there. Don't you worry. Oh, the other thing that is happening on Sunday, we just scheduled an author. Actually, I don't know if Steph. Yeah, she must be an author. Sandy Golston, Steph from Coffee Over Apples, and I are going to do a productivity sprint. And I'm a little nervous about it. It's going to be Sunday evening for us in the States. So Katya, you should be asleep. But it's going to be a productivity sprint. So I think what I'm going to do is take my big piece of paper where I have my research gaps and just do like reading sprints of some of the materials that I have to go through. Like there's this Women's Congress from the World's Fair that I'm making my way through 100 pages at a time. And I could probably do that in like the 20-minute sprints. But what I'm worried about is that during a period of concentration, I'm going to be like looking, I'm going to have an RBF. I told this to someone earlier today and she's like, no. It depends on the arc of your palate. And if it's flatter, it has to do with like your maxillofacial muscles. And you don't have a face that does that. And I was like, I don't know. I think when I concentrate, I look pretty weird, but we'll see. It'll be captured. It'll be captured for all to see. It's Sandy's on. So I was just confessing I'm a little nervous about looking like a dork while I'm concentrating on the productivity sprint. But hey, Sandy's here. It'll be on Sandy's channel. So if you're hanging out Sunday night trying to get stuff done or just want to like happen by and chat, we will be hanging out. Yeah. It's funny because when I do lives with people, I end it and I have like like the need to massage my facial muscles because I don't know if it's nervousness or like just willing positive energy, but it makes my smiling muscles sore. So afterwards I'm like, and so I'm hoping that when I do these 20-minute sprints, I'm not going to be like, and look like a, I don't know, goblin, troll, something like that. Should be fun though. I'm excited because I'm not doing so great on the daily editing, plotting tasks. So yeah, I'm hoping this will boost me up forward a little bit. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, so that will be Sunday evening. When is it? See, I forgot the time already. It's on my phone, but my internet is over there. So it's on Sandy's channel. You could just check him out, subscribe, and see us on Sunday. Otherwise, Sandy, you missed the sea shanties. Unless you have one to request, because this was originally going to be like a sea shanty request line. Unless you have one to request, I think I'm done because I looked at the ones that I know, and it's really hard to do like a rocking, rolling song when you don't know the rhythm. So, aha, Sandy's saying 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so the productivity sprint is 5 p.m. for me, Portland time, and 8 p.m. East Coast time. But yeah, it's gonna be a busy weekend. Let's see, Friday, it's today. Tomorrow, Sunday, I have the Patreon book club, which is going to be live but private. The productivity sprint with Steph and Sandy, which is going to be live. And then Monday, I have a Facebook group for the Historical Novel Society that I'm running about literary estate planning. Oh yeah, hot stuff, baby. So there's that. And then my dad should be coming on Monday. So for a visit, he just got his shots and whatnot. So, oh, the world moves on. Sandy was on the radio broadcasting a basketball game. You have a big month coming up, don't you? I saw someone mention, what was it? Another read-a-thon in March, but it was wasn't March Madness, because I think they were trying to tiptoe around the fact that is a trademarked name. So they were saying Battle of the Brackets. I think that's the name. And it was Angela at Literature Science Alliance. So she's doing basically like a BookTube spin, but it's in the format of the brackets because it's March and it's basketball themed or something. I don't know. I just thought it was cute. And I know March is a big month. That's all I know. Other than that, it's like sport ball, really. I mean, yeah. So yeah. All right. Well, I think I've run out of things. I got my mid-month check-in, although it's not a check-in, it's a status update. I got my sea shanties done. No requests. I'm a little disappointed. I got my marching orders for the weekend. Hope you will all chime in and see you at some point during those. And yeah, then just getting ready for March. So I want to see you on the Google Doc and see what modern writers you're going to bring to our attention and hopefully drag a buddy on in with you, right? It'll be fun. Cool. All right, well, put my tea down so I could say thanks for stopping by, everybody. Appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Let me know what projects you're up to, and I will see you all in the near future. Shanty talk. We'll leave you singing. Ho ho. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.